Ahoy, comrade! Pepsi's unlikely journey to becoming a naval power. Hello, tonight, on Last Week Tonight, we delve into a tale so bizarre it could only be true. Buckle up as we explore the time Pepsi, yes, the soft drink giant, briefly became a naval superpower. You heard that right? Forget aircraft carriers and nuclear submarines. Pepsi amassed a fleet of warships. How did a company known for sugary beverages end up with enough firepower to make a small island nation nervous? Stay tuned, because things are about to get fizzy with a twist of geopolitical intrigue. It all started during the Cold War, a time of geopolitical tension and proxy wars. The US and the Soviet Union were locked in an ideological battle for global dominance. You had the Soviets with their stoic pronouncements and love of tractors. And then there were the Americans, all about freedom, democracy, and apparently really liking sugar water. In this environment of suspicion and brinkmanship, Pepsi somehow managed to build a bridge across the Iron Curtain. How? By exploiting the universal language of delicious caffeinated beverages, of course. Picture the scene. Moscow, 1959. The American National Exhibition, a showcase of all things American, was in full swing. It was a chance for the US to show off its culture, technology, and naturally its consumer goods. Amidst displays of futuristic kitchen appliances and shiny automobiles, there was a peculiar sight, a Pepsi-Cola pavilion. This wasn't just any ordinary refreshment stand, mind you. This was a full-blown capitalist oasis in the heart of the Soviet Union. Soviet citizens curious about this American beverage lined up in droves. They got their first taste of the sweet, bubbly nectar that was Pepsi-Cola, and let's just say it was love at first sip. Even Nikita Khrushchev, the General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, couldn't resist trying this capitalist concoction. There's an iconic photo of him sipping on a Pepsi with then Vice President Richard Nixon, a moment that perfectly captured the surreal collision of cultures. Little did anyone know that this seemingly innocent exchange would mark the beginning of Pepsi's unlikely journey to naval power. Fast forward to the 1970s, and Pepsi had become firmly entrenched in the Soviet market. It seemed that even communist comrades couldn't resist a refreshing cola. But there was a problem. The Soviets were short on hard currency. They couldn't exactly pay for all that Pepsi with rubles, now could they? So what did they do? They turned to what they had in abundance: vodka. That's right, vodka. Thus began one of the most unorthodox trade deals in history. Pepsi shipped its sugary syrup eastward, and in return, boatloads of Stolichnaya vodka flowed westward. This wasn't just a win for Pepsi and Soviet citizens thirsty for a taste of the West, it was a win for international relations. Who needs diplomacy summits and peace treaties when you have vodka and cola to bridge the gap between superpowers? Battleships for beverages, the unconventional 1989 deal. By the late 1980s, the Soviet Union was on the verge of collapse. Its economy was in shambles, and it was desperately trying to find ways to generate hard currency. Pepsi, ever the opportunist, saw a chance to make history. The Soviet Union had a vast navy, and Pepsi, well, they liked making deals. In 1989, they struck an agreement that would forever be etched in the annals of corporate history. In exchange for an obscene amount of Pepsi, the Soviet Union agreed to hand over a fleet of warships. We're talking cruisers, frigates, even a destroyer. Suddenly, Pepsi found itself in possession of the sixth largest navy in the world. Yes, you heard that right, they had more firepower than many countries. They were a beverage company with a navy. It was the kind of deal that made you wonder if someone had spiked the Pepsi boardroom water cooler with something a little stronger than aspartame. From naval power to privateer's Pepsi sale and the enduring legacy. Now you might be thinking, what in the world did Pepsi plan to do with a navy? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple: not much. Turns out maintaining a fleet of warships is expensive. Who knew, right? So, Pepsi did what any sensible beverage company with a surplus of warships would do: they sold them for scrap. That's right, the once mighty Pepsi Navy was reduced to razor blades and tin cans. So what's the moral of this story? Is it that capitalism always finds a way? Or that even superpowers love a good cola? Perhaps it's a cautionary tale about the dangers of making deals with people who drink their vodka straight. Whatever the lesson, one thing is certain: the tale of Pepsi's brief reign as a naval power is a testament to the absurdity of the Cold War and the lengths companies will go to for global domination, even if it's just one sugary sip at a time. And on that note, we'll be right back after a brief message from our sponsor, Stolichnaya Vodka, na zdоровье. So next time you crack open a Pepsi, just remember, you're drinking a soda that once traded shots for battleships. This was real. This happened, and now you'll never unknow it. Like, subscribe, and stay weird.